Good morning, students. Today we are going to continue the same chapter, chapter 3, Interdependence of Plants and Animals. As we all know that all living things depend on each other directly or indirectly. In our previous class, we studied about how animals depend on plants. Today we will study how plants depend on animals. Like animals, plants also depend on animals. So we are going to discuss how they depend on animals. Now, number one is plants depend on animals for nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus. The decomposition of dead bodies of animals and excreta of animals like animal dung add nutrients to the soil, which is very important for the plant. These nutrients are then used by plants for their growth. Second point is plants depend on animals for pollination. The animals like butterfly, honeybees, bees carry pollen from one flower to another flower. In this way, they help in the pollination of flowers. My point number 3 is plants depend on animals for seed dispersal. Many seeds have little spines. Due to spines, these seeds stick to the skin of fur of an animal. The animal carries these seeds to far off places. When these seeds get detached from animal's body and fall into soil, they germinate to produce new plants there. Number 4, plants depend on animals for carbon dioxide. Plants need carbon dioxide to prepare food through photosynthesis. This carbon dioxide comes from animals during respiration. In this way, we can say that the plants and animals depend on one another in many ways. So, students, the survival of all living things is dependent on each other. The animals, in short, we can say that animals depend on plants for their food, for oxygen, and for shelter. Plants depend on animals for nutrients, for pollination, for seed dispersal, and for carbon dioxide. So, dear students, the plants and animals depend on one another in many ways. And now it's time for you to take out your notebooks and get ready to write some questions which I am going to give you. In this class, you have to do some exercises also. First, I will give you some questions, so note down. Question number 1 is, state 3 ways in which plants are dependent on animals. You have already read these, I told you, so it will not be difficult for you to write the answer of these questions. Question 1 was, state 3 ways in which plants are dependent on animals. Next question is, name some insects which live in plants and trees. Name some insects which live in plants and trees. Next question is, name 2 insects which help in pollination of flowers. Name 2 insects which help in the pollination of flowers. And now I am going to give you some fill in the blanks from your book. Number 1 is, no living thing or organism can live by dash. No living thing or organism can live by dash. Number 2, all the plants, birds, reptiles, fish, insects, etc. are dash to each other. All the plants, birds, reptiles, fish, insects, etc. are dash to each other. Number 3, the survival of all the dash things is dependent on each other. Number 4, the animals depend on plants for their dash. Number 5, the animals depend on plants for dash. For dash and dash. Number 6, plants depend on animals for nutrients like dash and dash. Plants depend on animals for nutrients like dash and dash. Number 7, plants depend on animals for dash dispersal. Plants depend on animals for dash dispersal. Next is the animals like dash and dash carry pollens from one flower to another. The animals like dash and dash carry pollens from one flower to another. And now it's time to say true or false. I'm going to read some statements. Some of them are true, some of them are wrong. So you have to write true or false for the following statements. Number 1, the survival of all living things is dependent on each other. The survival of all living things is dependent on each other. Number 2, the animals like cow, buffalo, goat, deer, and elephant eat flesh as food. Number 3, plants give out oxygen during the process of photosynthesis. Plants give out oxygen during the process of photosynthesis. Number 4, carbon dioxide comes from plants during respiration. Carbon dioxide comes from plants during respiration. And question number 5, many seeds have little spines. And 6, plants depend on animals for nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus. So dear students, this is enough for today, and you have to write answers. Study hard. God bless you.